Business Sidekick.
Hello all, here's Justyna, live chat content writer, and you're listening to Business Sidekick, your guide to the world of online business. Once you spend at least one day as an entrepreneur, you get to know how difficult it is to be successful and to be excited and passionate about what you do while facing everyday problems. I hope that after listening to this interview with Kelly Roach, an incredibly successful entrepreneur and coach, you will be motivated to stay positive and to make the best of you. Enjoy!
Business Sidekick.
Hello, Kelly. Thanks a lot for accepting my invitation, and I'm really excited to have you in my podcast.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here. This is going to be fun today.
Woohoo! Okay, Kelly, your bio is incredible. I mean, you're a business coach, founder of Kelly Roach Coaching. You were on the top of Fortune 500, and you were also a Philadelphia Eagles cheerleader. So,
yes.
Yeah, how did you do it?
You know, I think it's just about working hard and doing your best every day to be the best version of yourself. You know, I never strive for perfection, but I do strive to be the best version of me. And I think that if we wake up every day and we just have one focus, which is just growing and being better and learning and challenging ourselves, I think anything is possible for all of us.
Mm-hmm. I've seen that you always stress the importance of hard work and also time management. And can you share a couple of tips how to be a better person and how to manage your time better?
Yeah, definitely. Well, you know, I think in terms of overall your mental attitude and your mental toughness and your ability to get a lot done and your ability to stay positive, you know, even amidst challenges or hurdles, I think just having an attitude of gratitude is really the most important thing that's going to allow you to kind of deal with those ups and downs and still continue to make, you know, rapid progress in your business and in your life. So I think gratitude is really the most important thing. And you can easily just get started doing a simple gratitude meditation each day where you just, you know, spend a couple minutes thinking of all the things that you're blessed with and grateful for. And I think in doing so, it really helps you put into perspective the things that you're struggling with and realize, you know, hey, they're not so bad because you have thousands of other things that are going well and are going right that you really do need to take pause and be thankful for. In terms of time management, I think it's all about simplicity and focus. So, you know, I think it's not so much about trying to get so much more done in a day, or not so much about trying to work faster to do more. I think it's really about being much more strategic, much more intentional, and really measuring the return on investment of everything that you're doing so that you're not spending time on things that are not going to produce a positive ROI and really impact your life and your business in a way that moves you closer to your goals, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. And you are talking about the positive attitude. Is it because the entrepreneur's life is so difficult?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you know, and I'll go so far as to say this, Justyna, I think that life is difficult. You know, I wrote about it in my book. You know, I think life is filled with ups and downs and surprises and curveballs and challenges and trauma. And I think if you don't focus on working on yourself, if you don't focus on the importance of personal growth and positive mindset, I think you're going to have a really tough time in this life. I think the only way, you know, to really enjoy life is to constantly be working on improving yourself. And that's what we all have control over is ourselves. And in doing so, we empower ourselves to move forward versus disempowering ourselves by placing blame outside of ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Can you name a couple of traits that you've managed to develop?
Yeah, I mean, definitely, I think first and foremost is discipline. You know, I always say is discipline is doing what you don't want to do when you don't feel like doing it because it's what you need to do to accomplish your goals. And I think for me, that's probably one of my best characteristics is discipline. I think the second thing is just mental toughness. You know, people ask me, I do these podcasts, you know, practically, you know, 3-4 times a week on different people's shows. And then of course I have my own. And I always get asked the question, you know, can you remember the last time you failed? And I always laugh laugh when people ask me that, because I fail every single day. Because every single day I'm trying new things in my business. Every single day I'm challenging myself to get better and to implement things that haven't been done before and to take things to the next level. So I literally fail all the time. And I think for me, one of the most important characteristics that I've developed is an attitude about the importance of learning through failure to optimize success. So I think that mental toughness, and I think learning through failure and being able to bounce back quickly and apply your learnings to be able to achieve your goals is very, very important.
So I was going to ask you a question. If you find it difficult to be a woman in a harsh, business environment dominated by men, but I guess not.
Yeah, that's never been something that's bothered me, to be honest.
All right, and I've also seen your awesome YouTube video about how to dominate the competition. Can you share some strategy lessons on how to dominate the competition?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think one of the things that entrepreneurs struggle with the most is imperfect action. And, they want to look perfect, and therefore they take less action because they want to, have every I dotted and every T crossed. And, one of the most important things in terms of dominating the competition is to take more action, because frequency is really the biggest driver in sales and in generating results. And people tend to buy from one of the last three people that touch them. So, the most important thing is to really get comfortable with imperfect action and to realize that if you want to dominate the competition, you have to take more action. You have to be willing to show your imperfections and show what's special and unique about you, which for most entrepreneurs feels very, very uncomfortable. But it's very, very important, because if you are not willing to show those differentiators, then the competition doesn't have any reason to choose you versus the competition. And what I mean by that specifically, Justina, is, for example, many of the clients that choose me and my programs either, had a successful corporate career and then transitioned into becoming an entrepreneur. And so they see that about me and they want to work with someone that has had that similar experience. Or maybe they are in the health and wellness industry, or there's someone that is very athletic in nature or was in the past, and they see that I was a past Philadelphia Eagles cheerleader. So you have to show who you are so that people can see those things that are specific to you that make them want to work with you versus someone else. And it's all about being comfortable with imperfect action, showing who you really are, and allowing people to get to know you, because that's how the competition is going to distinguish between you and your competitors. And then just one final thing I'll add on that, and I apologize for the long answer. But the third big thing there with dominating the competition is you have to be willing to do things that they're not. You have to serve better, you have to deliver more, and you have to be better in everything that you do. So, I think everybody wants to be the top performer in their niche or industry, but not everyone is truly committed to doing what it takes. And I think that you have to be willing to be the leader in your sales and marketing as your craft, not just being good at what it is that you do, if you truly want to become a market leader in your industry.
For me personally, being a salesperson would be, a nightmare. So is it something that you learn, or is it something that you're born with?
I firmly believe that sales is something that's learned, and I willed my way to sales success. I'm surprisingly, I'm a very introverted person. I'm quiet. I typically enjoy listening a lot more than I enjoy talking. And, I'm pretty quiet. It's surprising to people because I'm so in the public eye with my business. I'm very comfortable speaking about, business related things and sharing, content that I think will value people. But for the most part, I like to just be quiet. So I'm not the kind of person that you would necessarily, if you knew me personally, be coined as like, yeah, I see her being, a salesperson. I think that, in my career, having trained and hired and coached hundreds of salespeople in my corporate career before starting my own company, most of those people had no sales experience, and they became superstars. And they became superstars because, number one, they followed the system that I taught them. And number two, because they had the work ethic and the drive and the passion. So I firmly believe that sales success is much more related to the work ethic and determination of the person than it is necessarily a sales skill or personality type, if that makes sense.
Do you have any tips on how to be a successful salesperson?
Yeah, definitely. I think the most important thing there, Justina, is, to be a successful salesperson, you have to realize that sales is in everything that you do. So sales is in every communication that you have, in every relationship that you have. It's the ability to inspire others into action. And, when you think about it as the transfer of inspiration, you begin to realize that sales isn't about you making a pitch necessarily, or you making a sales call necessarily, which, of course, a sales call is a great way to do sales, but it's in everything that you do. And I think most entrepreneurs don't have a simple, clean, bottom line presentation of the results that they get for people in a quantifiable way, and they miss sales because of that. So I think it's being able to weave a message of what result that you provide to people in everything that you do. And then it goes from, you feeling like you need to pitch something to really just conveying the value that you offer and giving great content and great feedback to people that really adds value for them and makes a difference for them, and then inviting them to take the next step in moving forward with that transformation.
And do you have any tips on how to, beat the competition during the holiday season? Because, everybody is shouting from the internet to get some attention.
Yeah, definitely. So, during the holiday season, yes, of course, everyone wants to have their own place in the market for sure. So a couple things, the most overlooked, underutilized strategy in sales is to get your own customers and past customers to spend more. So, most people waste the vast majority of their time selling to prospects when really they could make many, many more sales more quickly and more profitably by selling to the people who are already engaged in their brand. So the first tip I would say is the easiest way to do really well during the holidays is to sell more to your own clients. That's number one. Number two is get started early and do something different. So, change it up and have a different approach than what you see everybody else doing. If everybody else is focusing on the internet, go offline and send mailers and handwritten notes. If you see everyone is doing a digital product, you go the opposite direction and do a physical book. I think it's all about, standing out in a unique way, which sometimes can feel really challenging as an entrepreneur because you're like, everything's being done, or, everybody else already has a better plan or this or that. But you have to remember that there's people out there that are going to be uniquely attracted to you and your brand. And it's just up to you to kind of show those unique components that are special, that are about you. When I first started my business, I never talked about being a Fortune 500 executive. I never talked about being a Philadelphia Eagles cheerleader. And then I realized that many of the people that were attracted to me liked those components of my background because either they related to them, or they had similar experiences, or they specifically wanted to work with someone that had knowledge and expertise in either health and wellness or, corporate success. And so again, just look at your background and utilize that to pick out the core differentiators that are unique to you. Mm-hmm. So, I think start early. I think do something different. I think, don't try to do Me Too marketing and do the same thing everyone else is doing. Try to take a little bit of a different approach and use your unique differentiators to stand out.
All right. Thank you very much for our chat.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
Business Sidekick.
That's all for today. I hope that my chat with Kelly was an inspiration and it will be much easier for you to sail through the stormy winds of entrepreneurship. Check out our website livechatting.com/podcast for more information about previous episodes. And if you like what I'm doing, show me some love and share it with your audience. Hear you in 2 weeks. Stay positive.
This podcast was brought to you by Lifetime.